The night Henry Allen died. Considering this game only scored 22 out of 100 on Armour games, the night Henry Allen died wasn't exactly going to score high on this list. Don't get me wrong though, I actually enjoyed playing this title. The pixelated graphics were more unique than the average free game, and the inclusion of various keywords made the game feel more complex. But the fact is the gameplay never feels like it's going anywhere, plus you just start to lose interest in the plot due to the dull characters. Admittedly, the game could use a higher rating than 22 out of 100, but the lack of good gameplay and story really weighs the game down. Stormbound. Weirdly, despite Stormbound being better than our last entry, I didn't enjoy this game too much because it wasn't original enough for me. Stormbound involves you using a set of cards in a chess-like game in an attempt to destroy the enemy base. The game is multiplayer as well as single player, and does look pretty neat. But as I've said, I've seen games like this before, and these games tend to get boring after the first 5 matches or so. Still, it's a decent online experience if you want to try it. The Free Writer Director's Cut. There aren't many indie horror games I've seen that are made on the Unity engine that have a good story. Most of the time they're made just to spook the player for half an hour and then that's it. But the Free Writer Director's Cut does try to include a story about a writer who abuses his wife, and seems to be punished for doing so. The jump scares may be pretty cheap, but I found them quite humorous during gameplay. Unfortunately the game seems glitched halfway through, so there may be issues to sort out, but overall, the Free Writer Director's Cut was a good time. Decision Medieval. One thing that makes Decision Medieval a reasonable game is due to the fact there's a lot you can do on it. Basically, you're a warrior who's part of a team to recapture a kingdom full of zombies. It's mainly completing missions, but on the way there are many upgrades you can get to improve your character, including new weapons and even companions. The combat system is a bit dry, consisting of you just clicking on a zombie to kill it, but then some effort has been put into the designing of this game nonetheless. Overall, a decent game, but a bit plain in my opinion. Religious Idol. So, Religious Idol takes around a few hours to complete, but I have to admit, of all the idol games I've ever played, this one is one of my favourites. You have started your own religion, which you can later name, and you must grow it to the point everyone is a follower. Start the game by manually clicking for new people, then get to building divine monuments to obtain millions of individuals. For me, it was really fun to make it up as I went, and even though the game was short, it was very fulfilling. I didn't even think the game was too short, although I only videoed about half the game. I would definitely recommend Religious Idol, however, it's better if you play the game without knowing what to expect towards the end. No One Has to Die. To be honest, when I first tried playing No One Has to Die, I wasn't hugely into the story. The lack of gameplay didn't give me something to get into, and at first the plot seems really generic. But once the game starts to open up, you find that the creator has really put some thought into this game. As well as yourself, a visitor, there are 4 people who are trapped in a burning building. You have to decide stage by stage who should live and who should die, and each decision will tell you more about the remaining characters. I won't spoil any of it now, but I have to say, even though I've only done one playthrough, the game is definitely worth playing. Hence, Game of the Week is No One Has to Die.